Welcome to the process. It is Thursday, April 22nd. 6-game NBA slate coming up here. I am Josh Engleman, and I'm here to break it all down. Break it all down. That's a tough sentence at 6:30 in the morning when you haven't had your coffee yet. I'm here to break it all down, though. Coming off a monster 12-game slate. Just truly too big. I did not 150 max yesterday. Didn't think that I could manage it on the show, being live and having 5 games lock at 7 o'clock. So I think that was a good idea. I did not win the one qualifier that I did. I needed to have some skin in the game, so I hopped into the fantasy contest on FanDuel. Did not take it down. Out of 100, I think I finished in the mid-30s. But I was waffling between a couple lineups before lock, and I wanted to see how they graded out. So I pasted in last night's results. And I still had the 1,000 lineups that I crunched, but I wanted to look at those top 5, basically, that I was looking at. Because they were all sort of like 2v2s off of each other. And the other one that I was looking at had a score that looked really good. And my heart immediately sank. Like, I lost the coin flip last night in my head. So I grabbed my phone and I pulled open the FanDuel app to go check and see if that lineup would have won the contest. And it turns out that the lineup that I had thought about taking and didn't would have finished second by a half point, which honestly, obviously, like, that would have won a little bit of money. The payout structure on those type of like ticket contests aren't very good. So, like, would have doubled up or tripled up or whatever. I don't care at all about that. The idea that I would have woke up this morning, I would have went to bed last night not knowing, and I would have woke up this morning missing out by a half point. I could not be happier that I didn't select that lineup. I would not have been able to deal with that emotionally today. It would have been awful, truly awful to finish second. I would have just hated myself. So luckily that didn't have to happen, and I didn't have anything in my top 100 lineups that would have picked that one off. So no need to feel bad for it. Good morning to everybody that is in here right now. I see lots of good mornings, lots of coffee cups. Feels good. Kevin Brunson hung a 432 on FanDuel last night and played it in cash. That one stings because that lineup 432 is obviously a fantastic score for yesterday, significantly higher than the lineup that I just talked about to start. Let's see. King Zorro, one lineup in the DK April Slam, finished 32nd. Oh, with DeLon Wright instead of Svi. Okay. Look, you can't hate yourself for Svi. Sometimes people have outlier games. King Hope, you went Russ Steph instead of Kyrie in the 1500. Yeah, I'm telling you, it was Kyrie all day yesterday. Melvin, he's just Curry's a tough guy to play because you need a very specific outcome. He's a lot easier to play when his salary isn't inflated from hot shooting. Now, it's not to say that he can't continue to do that, but Curry doesn't bring a lot in terms of peripheral stats, and that sort of helps you have a bit of a higher floor. It was wild. Shake Milton was tough last night because he, on paper, to me, was dramatically under-owned, and he couldn't buy a bucket. And like that, it was just kind of gross. If I were 150 maxing, I would have had a lot of Shake Milton, and that probably wouldn't have went all that well. But having a lot of O'Shea Brissett didn't suck, that's for sure. He was fantastic. Luke Kennard was fantastic. Those two pieces on FanDuel would have probably been pretty good for me, but there were other things that I just wouldn't have had. That's neither here nor there. It is time to dive in. Before we do that, and I don't even want to ask right now, but please hit the like button. You guys were doing a great job. I took a screenshot before the show started, and it was showing me that we had 18 concurrent viewers and 20 likes, which means that some people just showed up to like it and bailed, which I wasn't mad about at all. But if you could hit the like button, that would be great. We're going to break down 6 games. Should be a pretty easy one. I'd like to just get through it a little bit and be done. So let's dive in. But first, you guys know the drill. Coffees. Here we go. Cheers, everybody. Good luck today. Grab your coffees, whatever else you got. I got my water too, trying to get hydrated. First day with the trainer today. That should be fun. I'm gonna get beat up pretty bad, but cheers, everybody. Good luck today. I hope you have a good Thursday. One more this week after this, before we get to take a little bit of a break for the weekend. So let's do it. Rise and grind, everybody. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's get into this. Bang. And also, looking up, shout out to Monkey Knife Fight. Use that promo code Awesemo. Get 100% instant match deposit bonus up to $100. Deposit 100, get 100. Free money, baby. You can't beat it. Go get that free money. 6 games. Kicking it off. And one of these games we're really not going to be able to do much on. Philly's going to be a bit of a struggle. But Boston Celtics. Get the music on. There we go. No golf this week. We put out a golf betting video, Sean, but I won't be playing in this contest. I got enough going on. What's up, Crispy? Alrighty, Boston Celtics. What do we know? What do we know? Kemba in, Smart in, Jaylen Brown doubtful, Tatum questionable. No Robert Williams, no Evan Fournier. Okay. So most of that should be pretty easy. What we're going to do is just assume that Jason Tatum is playing and that Jaylen Brown is not playing, and the game looks quite a bit like that bad boy. So, I'm going to have to correct for Kemba's minutes. So let's start this one over. Let's see. All right, Kemba Walker. I think 35 minutes feels pretty safe there. And I think 36 minutes for Marcus Smart feels pretty safe. And I think that I'm going to just go 36 minutes for Tatum, but I think that there's upside there as well. We've seen Tristan Thompson play pretty large minutes with everybody out as of late. I see no reason that would be changing. So I'm going to give him 29 minutes. Backup center minutes, probably just going to Luke Cornett and Jabari, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. So let's do something like that. With no Jaylen Brown, I think we see Peyton Pritchard just sort of get some traditional 20-minute type run. Yeah, Shake was Paul. Shake was not great. Not at all. All right, who else do we need to give some minutes? Semi Ojeleye, obviously, gonna get some burn here. Semi played, where is it? He played 20 minutes in this last game on the 17th with Jaylen Brown out. So I'm gonna go straight back to that 20. I still need to give Grant Williams a bunch of minutes, so let's move that around a little bit. Grant Williams, 24 minutes seems about right. Now I think that I can move those back over for Semi. So let's just make this 36. And we'll do that. So that leaves us 14 minutes for Romeo Langford, I guess. Yeah, that works. Romeo Langford, come on down. You get 14 minutes. So now we're going to have to take Jaylen Brown off. So all these rates are going to change a little bit. I don't think that I've run this really with Jaylen Brown off. I'm so used to running it with Kemba off. This one should be a little different. Jose, don't regret that one too much, man. There's nothing you could do about that. Brown off. Bobby Williams off. I guess I got to take Fournier off too. And we'll take Tice. Although I should probably leave Tice on. Paul, I think we're all trying to figure out how to beat Gene Kim. Yeah, I'm going to leave Tice on. That doesn't matter. So Jason Tatum with no Jaylen Brown on the floor, 32.5% usage rate. So I think 32 works. 6 and 9 doesn't matter all that much. Kemba, 31% usage rate in 200 minutes without Jaylen Brown on the floor. So I'm going to give him a bump to 30. I have a feeling Kemba Walker is going to be popping here a lot. 1.1 FanDuel points per minute over 200 minutes with no Jaylen Brown on the floor. That's kind of big. Marcus Smart has only played 129 minutes with no Jaylen Brown. He also sees a bit of a bump in usage rate. No surprises there. Somebody's got to soak this stuff up. And then finally, Tristan Thompson, I can't imagine has any sort of real legitimate changes. All the rates look largely the same. But let's see what we've got here for Boston. Again, taking on the Suns, not the best spot in the world. Cake, man, that's awesome. That's so awesome. Glad you were able to pick up some green, win some cheddar. All right, so $6,900 Kemba on FanDuel is my favorite option here, coming from Boston by quite a bit. I've got him projected for 1.11 fantasy points per minute. That is essentially exactly where he's been. I'm willing to take a hair off of that to not make it be the full rate. But 1.10 at 6,900, 35 minutes, that's a really nice price tag. He grades out as the best value on Boston by far. Tristan Thompson would be second on FanDuel at 4,100. And then it gets a little squirrely there. I thought Jason Tatum at 9,500 would grade out a little bit better, but it doesn't appear that that's the case. But I don't really have much that I would be willing to change. So, excuse me. I think that just stays. I thought I would like Tatum more. Tatum looks to be taking the brunt. I'm going to sneeze. So, oh God, it's like stinging my nostrils. Maybe it's going to go away. Looks like it's going away. Changed up the laundry detergent, and it's a little bit more potent in the nose. It's a clean hoodie. Anyway, we're done with Boston. Play Kemba Walker. That's the best I can do. And hit the like button. 50 likes, 82 viewers. And I'm going to take another sip of coffee because it feels incredibly necessary today. But I really need to make sure that I'm just peaking at 1 o'clock because getting with the trainer today for the first time ever in my life is going to be terrifying. Q tag on Troy Brown. He is out with a left ankle injury. Zach LaVine also still out, looking like 2 more games there. I'm going to assume that Troy Brown does not play for right now. I think it's just easier to move forward with that assumption. Continue the same rotation that I had previously. So Denzel Valentine actually picked up more minutes than I thought, but being in at 20 looks fine. Archie, I guess, can keep his 10. Thad Young. Yeah, I'm fine with all of this rotation here. Chances I'm going to yak. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but I actually think that this one might be a little bit easier than future training sessions, because this one's more of a let's just find out where you're at. I don't think that I'm going to get like run into the ground today. But moving forward, I think it's possible. Trainer, am I getting ready for a boxing match? No, I'm getting ready for summer. Ashley, that's awesome. That's great. I'm glad you were able to build off of this. Seriously, good luck, for real. Bulls, Hornets, Bulls at home. Let's see what we've got going on for Chicago. Same rotations that we had yesterday. I think it just makes more sense to go that direction. And there's not much here. Vooch at the top at 8,800 would be my preferred option. But Kobe White for 5,500 on DraftKings also looks okay. But we're not talking about anything too crazy here. Now, these guys are better plays today than they were yesterday. There's a giant difference between a 6-gamer and a 4-gamer. But if we're just talking in generalities, Kemba and Tristan Thompson are the 2 best plays that we've had on FanDuel by a lot. Kemba on DraftKings by a lot. And then actually Daniel Tice for 3,700 on DK is the spot that I would rather go. Yeah, I'm not going to prepare for Jake Paul. All right, on to Charlotte. So what do we got going here for the Hornets? Because they obviously have some guys that are going to start coming back. No Ball, no Hayward, no Monk, so it's not happening yet. So this is just going to be the same Charlotte rotation we've had. And in that case, we kind of know where this goes. I'm going to give Terry Rozier an extra minute given what he's been playing. Brad Wanamaker didn't see the floor last time, which I find to be pretty interesting. Devontae Graham played 30 minutes. I think keeping him at 30 looks reasonable. PJ Washington is at 35 minutes for back-to-back games, but one of those, that's regular. Okay, so those are both in regulation, so I'm actually going to use that information and bump him up a bit. Vernon Carey just doesn't appear to be able to play more. So I'm going to go 16 for Vernon Carey, 34 for PJ Washington. Because it seems like he's going to play 34 minutes. That just seems like it's going to be the case. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with Vernon Carey if he keeps playing 3 minutes at a time. Bridges at 36 looks fine. Jalen McDaniels at 30 seems fine. Cody Martin got 24 minutes. Caleb Martin got 23 minutes. I'm going to go to 22 minutes for Cody Martin and 22 minutes for Caleb Martin, and then Brad Wanamaker can get the rest of the run. Rates should all still be the same. Although I guess I do need PJ Washington's rates. So let's grab him from Charlotte. And I assume I'm about to jinx it, but I know that we had some weird dropped frame issues over the past 2 or 3 days for the stream. I believe that I have corrected that problem and everything should be running super smooth right now. All right, let's take Monk off, Hayward off, Ball off. Does PJ Washington get any sort of bump in that scenario? 20.6% usage rate. Does see a big rebounding rate cut, which I think is interesting. So I am going to take Biyombo off as well. Been snapping. What up? Cake, I appreciate you being here, man. I'll make sure to let Laffy know he stinks. Yeah, PJ Washington just doesn't have that sort of bump that I thought he would. So we're going to just leave it at 19.7 and call it a day. It's going to look like a decent play, but nothing too crazy. All right, let's look at Charlotte because I think that this is kind of where I want to be. Because Hornets get the Bulls. It's a good spot. Terry Rozier at the top of the heap on FanDuel at 7,800, but PJ Washington is 5,900 on DraftKings, so he looks better there. Bridges is filler on both sites. Devontae Graham probably a little bit more expensive than I would like. Yeah, there's just not a lot there. If I had Charlotte in, Rozier is in third on FanDuel. You get PJ Washington to second, but Kemba still clear top option for me today. And you can see that that's a pretty big tier. That's a pretty big drop off. Good morning, Patrick. All right, 3 teams down, 9 to go. On to the Dallas Mavericks. Mavs on the back-to-back. At home against the Lakers. And it looks like we're going to have AD back for something, at least tonight. Porzingis on the back-to-back. Maxey on the back-to-back, questionable. Cantor, welcome. Good to see you. So Porzingis sat the last back-to-back they had, but he played in the back-to-back before that. And I just don't really know how to manage that. So I think I just have to assume that Porzingis is playing. And with this game going off at 9:30, that is a terrible assumption. But I don't really know what else we could possibly do. So I'm going to assume that he is in, and I'm going to assume that Maxey is in. And then let's move forward from there. So Maxey did not play a ton. I guess we're getting... I don't know where they're going to go with this here. You know what? I'm going to scratch this rotation and start over. So we're going to keep Porzingis at 33 minutes. Dwight Powell and Willie Cauley-Stein are playing a little bit more now. So maybe like 12 and 12. Because I don't think it matters who's who. And then we can move 9 minutes off of Zinger. Maxey's minutes have been sort of weird as of late. I'm going to give him 22. So who is playing the 4 now? I guess it's just more DFS there. So we'll go 17 and 17. We got to worry about Redick. So Tim Hardaway can be more the 3. Luka technically more the 3. All right, so Jalen Brunson, I think 28 minutes feels pretty good. His minutes waffle, but more often than not, he's trying to get in there for like 28 minutes. So I'm going to go 28 minutes to Jalen Brunson. And then I guess let's just say that Luka gets the other 20 plus another 14. We give Redick 12. We give Josh Richardson, let's see, he played 28 last night, so 22 and 6. 25 for Tim Hardaway. Bam. Spot on. Love it. That built itself. Rates should all be the same for Dallas. So Dallas taking on LA. Tough matchup. I can't imagine these guys are going to grade out all that well. No, they don't. Porzingis for 8,300 on FanDuel if he plays is the best Dallas option. I'm not all that interested in Luka yet, although raw points might just be what gets him where he needs to be today. But we'll see what the rest of the slate looks like. But for now, Luka not grading out all that well. 14th overall on FanDuel just from the teams we've looked at so far. So there's that. We'll keep it moving. 96 viewers, 62 likes. You guys are doing a fantastic job. Let's keep that ratio high. Let's keep hitting that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel too. By the way, for those of you that are members on YouTube, which from what I'm seeing is just Patrick Bush right now. Does anybody else have it? I don't see the logo anywhere else. Oh, Velo, if you're still here. We've got a new, I don't know if it's been posted. Let me look actually. It hasn't been posted yet. Oh no, it has. We've got a new Josh emoji. It is me with the mustache. So check that out if you need to. Yeah, I didn't expect Kent Bazemore to have 7 stocks or whatever he had last night. Cantor, you probably deserve it if I'm being honest. All right, Pistons, which I can't imagine this is going to be good. All right, so DSJ doubtful. Jeremy Grant doubtful. Mason Plumlee doubtful. Corey Joseph doubtful. Wayne Ellington doubtful. Should I really be assuming that all of these guys sit for rest? I mean, I guess I should, right? Like they've been doing that. Now they played yesterday, right? Like they were on the slate. Oh, that's so tricky. That's so tricky. So last back-to-back, Grant, Joseph, Plumlee. I mean, those are the 3 that matter the most. And Ellington all sat the front end out. So should... All right, I am going to take those guys out. I think they're going to sit for tanking. So I'm going to treat it like the 419 day is the true rotation. So let's go ahead and put Isaiah Stewart in for 30 minutes. I got to mark all of these guys too. Sadiq Bey. I'm going to say Wayne Ellington doesn't play. We're going to say Tyler Cook does play. Saban Lee plays. Killian Hayes is in or out? There it is, Velo. Killian Hayes is just questionable. Is there any other notes for this Detroit team? Okay. Killian Hayes, hip load management won't play on Wednesday. All right, I think Killian Hayes is actually going to play today. So we'll mark Killian Hayes, Josh Jackson. We'll say Jeremy Grant sits. We've got Isaiah Stewart in. We'll say Diallo in. That's 7. We'll get Frank Jackson in. That's 8. And then Jahlil Okafor will make 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so that's the 9. Been snapping. There's a way to join Awesemo's YouTube channel. I don't know where the button is because it's not something that I see, but there's a subscribe button somewhere. All right, so let's assume Jahlil Okafor plays the backup center run to Isaiah Stewart, which is what he did. Got 48 minutes. That seems spot on. So we'll go 30, and then we'll go 18 to Okafor. Done. Next. Tyler Cook is how tall? All right. He's also a center marked, but technically a power forward. So we'll get Tyler Cook. Played 30 minutes. That seems aggressive. He started, right? Tyler Cook started that game. It was the 19th. Detroit. That's the 18th. Detroit. He did. Okay, cool. So he started and just played a lot. That's good to know. I don't want to give him 30 minutes because I think that's a lot, but I'll give him 28. Killian Hayes starting at the 1. I'm going to assume is going to play 30 minutes. I'm going to give Saban Lee the backup 18. All right, so there we go. We've got 5 of the 9 guys in now. Next up, Josh Jackson playing 30 minutes is just sort of going to happen. So I'm just going to turn that to 30 right now. Then we've got Sadiq Bey, who played 35 minutes. So I'm just going to give him 34 right away. That gives us 50 minutes left for Frank Jackson and Hamidou Diallo. Diallo just plays 20 minutes every day, so that's fine. Frank Jackson played 27. I'm going to give him less than that, but we're going to move some stuff around. So let's get Hamidou Diallo's minutes there. We'll give Frank Jackson 26, which means that I need to find somehow. Who did I not give minutes to that was getting it? Because I only have 6 left. That's not as bad as I thought it was. So we'll go 20 and 14. So where can these additional 6 minutes go? Or do I just give them to Davidas Servaitis and call it a day? I think that I probably do. So I don't want to give Sadiq Bey more minutes. I don't want to give Josh Jackson more minutes. I think Killian Hayes looks fine. I think Saban Lee looks fine. So I'm going to give those minutes to Servaitis. I'm assuming that Corey Joseph doesn't play for right now. I'm going to assume that they're going to be sitting people on back-to-backs. Dawood. And if that's the case, we need to take these guys off. So Grant off, Plumlee off. Honestly, that's probably all that really matters here. But Let's also take Corey Joseph off just in case. So biggest usage guy in that scenario is Josh Jackson at 29%. So we'll take him to 28. I guess I should take Derrick Rose off and then put Corey Joseph back on, because Corey Joseph's usage isn't going to matter here. He's not a usage guy. Servitis, I don't care about. Corey Joseph does get to 21% usage. That's crazy. Frank Jackson is fine. Magruder, Svi, Diallo. Okay, so I don't think I actually need to touch anybody else. Everybody else is going to move on their own. So for the Pistons, assuming no Corey Joseph, no Jeremy Grant, no Mason Plumlee, Isaiah Stewart, Killian Hayes, Josh Jackson, all looking like pretty good plays. Stewart, though, 5,500 on FanDuel, so the bloom is off the rose a bit. But 4,400 for Killian Hayes, I don't hate. That's not so bad. And then Sadiq Bey, just because of the minutes, is just in play. Let's see what Detroit looks like when you add them into the full list. All right. So Isaiah Stewart hops into that number 2 spot, tied up with Tristan Thompson. You see Killian Hayes get to 4. That is a clear top 4 tier here. But Kemba is tier 1. Stewart, Thompson, Killian Hayes, tier 2. Oh, by the way, Courtney, if you happen to be watching this, I saw your email. I will get back to you. I appreciate you reaching out about the clustering. I just didn't have time yesterday, but I'll have a little bit more time today. Yeah, Killian Hayes, Josh Jackson, Isaiah Stewart, Sadiq Bey even. There's a lot to like for this Pistons team today against San Antonio, oddly enough. Moving it on to the Lakers. And this one matters now because there's a pretty decent chance that Anthony Davis plays today in limited minutes. Says he'll play on Thursday as long as he continues to feel good. So Anthony Davis, come on down. You are back in the game, sir. I don't know what that's going to do to their rotation, but we need to hash through it. Is there any other major news for the Lakers? Shooter probable, Drummond probable. So Gasol questionable. Not all that important. Everybody else is in that could be in. So let's hash out this Lakers rotation. Schroeder should see no change. So let's give Schroeder, I don't know, last 5 games he's averaged 33 minutes. So 33 minutes works. Backup point guard run. I'll just go straight to Caruso. We'll see what else we need to do for him. Andre Drummond, 28 and 30 minutes the past 2 games. I'm going to give him 28. I'm going to give Trez, 18? We'll give AD 16. We'll give Markieff Morris 28, 26, 26. 26 feels right. We'll give Kyle Kuzma 30, I guess. And then it starts to fill itself out. So 30 minutes for KCP. We'll go 12 minutes for Wes Matthews. We'll go 20 minutes for THT and 12 for Ben McLemore. And now we've got a slightly different Lakers team than we've had as of late. I think all those rates and stuff should still be the same. I don't think that Anthony Davis is going to be all that big of a problem. And the more likely scenario is that we'll be playing one Andre Drummond. Drummond's usage rate in LA so far, I think, is comically low, but let me see. It is 26.6, so not comically low. I will bring it down a little bit. There's not a lot to like here for the Lakers at all. So Drummond on FanDuel at 6,900. I like. Drummond on DK at 7,300. I don't dislike. Schroeder is okay. There is no one else you could roster on the Lakers today. Those are the only two options. Drummond and Schroeder. That's it. Drummond's here, but he'll be behind Tristan Thompson by a hair. We'll see if that matters. Raw points might be more important. Let's save this. Guys, we're moving pretty good, I think, but I feel like I'm spending a little bit more time on rotations. We're at the halfway point. We got 6 to go. Milwaukee is next. This one shouldn't take any effort. The problem with Milwaukee is that we have no idea what's going on with Philly. Everybody for Milwaukee should just be in. And I assume I'm not touching this rotation at all. Although Giannis did get back up to 35 minutes. So I do need to grab those minutes for him and take them from somebody. So if I get him to 34, who isn't going to play 34? It's just easier to take him from Tuck. Connaughton 23, good. Jeff Teague, good. All this is fine. No complaints. Milwaukee just is what they are. Taking on Philly, but Philly's quite a question mark. So Giannis actually looks pretty good here. 11K on FanDuel, 10-8 on DraftKings. Probably going to be my preferred pay-up option. I'm going to take one of those minutes away just in case. So still Giannis. And then probably not much else. Brook Lopez at 4,700 on FanDuel actually looks a little bit better than everybody else. So we'll see here. Like, even paying up for Giannis, he's my top pay-up option, and he's 5 points ahead of Luka. But on DK, I think Giannis looks like quite a bit better. Packs in with Kemba and Killian Hayes. I would be surprised if Giannis sat bin snapping. New Orleans Pelicans. On the road against Orlando. So obviously a good matchup from a talent standpoint. No Nickeil Alexander-Walker. James Johnson still doubtful. So this should be the same rotation that they had. And if that's the case, we saw James Nunley not play. So I'm going to take those minutes away. Lonzo in for 30 minutes. It's got to happen eventually, but I'm going to give him 28. We've got Kira Lewis in for 18. We're going to say that Eric Bledsoe gets 32 as well. We've got Steven Adams in for 28. Good. We've got Jackson Hayes and Willie Hernan-Gomez also playing 27 minutes. So I need to give Willie Hernan-Gomez at least a little bit of run. So let's do that. Let's give Willie Hernan-Gomez 4, I guess. Just enough. Just enough. Zion at 36 looks fine. Najee Marshall at 28 looks fine. Brandon Ingram at 36 looks fine. So we just need to hash out those minutes at the 2. Which basically just went to Wes Iwundu. So I'm going to go back to Wes Iwundu. Give him 14. I think that works. And the upside in Najee Marshall's minutes is definitely a bit higher than what I've got him in for. But he could just as easily play less. But played 30 over the... You know what? I am going to give him 2 more. No, I got him at 28. 28 feels right. I think there's upside in that minutes number, but it's more realistic. I don't want to go north of 30 because I think that's a ceiling. Although with no James Johnson, it probably should be 30. So let's take it to 30. I feel more comfortable there. I gave him too many tonight. No, he's good. All right, so for the Pelicans against Orlando, Najee Marshall, 4,800 is at the top of the heap on FanDuel. Not a crazy value. The prices come up, but he looks good. Zion would be my number 2. Zion is my number 1 on DraftKings for the Pelicans, though, at 9,900. Nobody clearly separating from the pack here for the Pels, and so far the slate is pretty packed together. But just looking at it, like Najee Marshall is 9th on FanDuel. I liked Zion the most on DK for the Pels. He's 13th overall. So there's not a lot to like for New Orleans. Orlando's just not really helping them out there. Speaking of Orlando, let's get there. Ooh, 135 viewers, 79 likes. We're getting dangerously close to 100 likes, and I'd like to keep that ratio up. Let's see if we can get to 100 quickly. If you're in here and you haven't hit the like button yet, go ahead and do so. All right, Orlando Magic. Q tag on James Ennis, Q tag on Ross, but MCW out and Porter out. So we want to get Terrence Ross back into this rotation. I think keeping Cole Anthony at 32 minutes feels right off the surface. 16 going to Chasson Randall. We need to get 28 minutes, I guess, to Terrence Ross and figure out where the rest of those need to go after that. RJ Hampton, we're just going to take down to 20 minutes. Take those 12 minutes from Dwayne Bacon. Dwayne Bacon playing 18 minutes feels about right if Terrence Ross is back. 30 minutes for Gary Harris feels a little heavy. Chumo Kiki good. Who do I need to give minutes to? Oh, yeah, James Ennis could potentially play. That makes a lot of sense. So let's give James Ennis those 20 minutes. He's going to need more than that. I just don't know where they come from. In theory, they can come from Chasson Randall, and we can move people down a notch. Because Randall was out of the rotation here, but that was with MCW. So who really needs that minutes haircut? Appreciate you guys smashing that like button. You guys are the best. Absolute best. Up to 89. I love it. All right, I think we're mostly good here because we're not looking to play Dwayne Bacon or James Ennis, so I'm not going to get too hung up on their rates. The guys that have the rates that matter are there. I guess I got to give Terrence Ross like a big time bump. Terrence Ross is going to look like a decent option here if everybody's in. I got to look at these rates. So let's take Fultz off, Gordon off, Fournier off, and Vooch off. What is Terrence Ross's usage rate in that scenario? $28, which is exactly what I typed in. So we're going with it. So if we look at the Orlando Magic in this spot, Cole Anthony, 6,300 and 6,400 on FanDuel and DraftKings respectively would be my first option. I think he looks pretty good there. But Terrence Ross is 4,700 on FanDuel. That's a nice value. He's a fantasy point per minute guy in this scenario. He's grading out pretty nicely. Like he's a top-ish play if he's in. Like that's a value that he's going to show up pretty high on FanDuel. Yeah, like we've got Terrence Ross, 7th overall. Very clearly part of this upper echelon. I like it. Not as much to like on DraftKings, but I like it for Orlando on FanDuel. And then we get to Philly. And this one's just impossible right now. There's nothing that we can do that's going to be worth a shit. Ben Simmons questionable, Seth Curry questionable, Harris questionable, Embiid is probable. Who the hell knows? There's no way for us to know what's going to happen here. I'm going to put everybody in because I can't project these guys to be out. It's just not going to make a lot of sense. So I'm not going to be ultra interested in hashing out whatever this rotation is supposed to be. I just don't see a way around it. Like we just need this news. It's not going to help anybody to just guess at what it's going to be. So I'm just going to fill these guys in with sort of what they normally do. And once we get news, we can update accordingly. Otherwise, we're just going to drive ourselves nuts. So let's do something like that. If everybody is in for Philly, and I don't expect everybody to be in, but like each one of those guys coming out affects everyone else. So on the back-to-back, we just have to assume that they're all in. When like anything can happen here. Ben Simmons' price after not playing yesterday, went up to 7,400 on FanDuel. That is a real thing that happened. That said, I like Ben Simmons if he's playing. I like Joel Embiid on DraftKings at 10-5 no matter what. So that's where we're at. I'm going to take a minute from Simmons so he doesn't pop up as much. But I can't really dive into Philly right now. There's not going to be any utility in it. We just don't have the info. So keep an eye on it. Now, Shake Milton's ownership will not be low today if those guys get ruled out quickly. It's a 6-game slate. It's going to be significantly higher unless he had like a price change. 4,800 on FanDuel, 4,600 on DraftKings. Now, Shake Milton will be pretty popular if they all get ruled out again. All right, Phoenix. Q tag on Crowder, Q tag on Abdel Nader. So just assuming that we've got the same rotation as normal, I think makes the most sense, which means that we're not really making any changes here. Although Cam Johnson's minutes have been all over the place as of late. But I don't really know a way to like change that. I don't see anything that I can do here to actually make a difference. So, same Phoenix rates as normal. And for Phoenix, you're basically just not playing anybody. Tough matchup at Boston. I can't really recommend anybody here. DeAndre Ayton on DraftKings probably going to get slept on. Best I could say. Oh, and we're over 100 likes. Look at you guys go. For the final team, the San Antonio Spurs, a team that I just assume we're not really going to be looking at here unless people are out. Yeah, just the trade Lyles Q tag. So this is going to be the same rotation as normal. I don't really see anything that I can change. Everything to me looks like it should. DeMar at 35 minutes. That's even more than he's been playing, but I'm going to go with it. DeJounte Murray, that all this stuff looks good. How do the Spurs look? Double R, that's awesome, man. Congrats. Derek White, value option. DeJounte Murray looks okay at the 7K price tag. Keldon Johnson for 4,200 is a guy that I'm still going to get to a bit. Nothing too crazy. But, guys, we're done. 720. Projections are in the books. We got to run some optimals. So I appreciate y'all. It is time to figure out what the optimal lineup is on both FanDuel and DraftKings. And honestly, this could look... I don't have a great feel for it. When guys like Tristan Thompson and Killian Hayes and Terrence Ross are at the top on FanDuel, I don't know what's going to happen. All right. Optimal lineup on FanDuel. Coach Bell, I'll be doing baseball soon enough. All right, optimal lineup on FanDuel. Kemba Walker, Cole Anthony, Josh Jackson, Terrence Ross, Brandon Ingram, Najee Marshall, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Isaiah Stewart, Andre Drummond. So intuitively, that all makes a lot of sense to me. But if and like however the Philly news breaks, that will mix this all up quite a bit. You can give back 0.3 of a point if you would like. Switch from Drummond to Vooch, and from Brandon Ingram to Miles Bridges. So there's that. Power rankings on FanDuel. What do we got here? Oh, yeah. Terrence Ross season, baby. Look at this gym. And honestly, like these Detroit guys are popping, like Stewart and Josh Jackson. Jeremy Grant, Mason Plumlee, Corey Joseph. Those guys could all just play today too, and none of that looks good. This is really tricky. Gerald, I would say no to 100% Giannis today. And I would say no to probably 100% anybody. All right, power rankings for FanDuel. Terrence Ross, Josh Jackson, Isaiah Stewart, Kemba Walker, Cole Anthony, Giannis, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Miles Bridges, Tobias Harris, Keldon Johnson, Najee Marshall, Jason Tatum, and Chris Middleton, my boy. But more so than ever, 6-game slate, lots of news up in the air for the Sixers and for the Pistons. At the very least, it's going to scramble that stuff up a lot. Now, let's hit the DK side of this one, which I think Giannis is going to show up quite a bit here, but I don't know. We'll find out. So, 3 lineups. Optimal lineup on DraftKings: Cole Anthony, Jalen Brunson, Josh Jackson, Giannis, Daniel Tice, Kemba Walker, PJ Washington, and Kobe White. You can give back 0.4 of a point if you're interested. Swap Jalen Brunson for Killian Hayes, and that's it. Nope, we get Saddiq Bey in there. And what's the other swap? Brunson for Hayes, Kobe White for Saddiq Bey. Got it. Got it. There we go. Power rankings for DraftKings, and then we're done here. We've got one more day to go. Then I can sleep in again, which I'm going to be honest with you. I'm excited about. I love getting up with you guys. Each day gets harder and harder. And then I refresh the batteries on Saturday and Sunday, come out on Monday with renewed vigor, and then just fail again, it seems. All right. Power rankings on DraftKings for right now. Josh Jackson, PJ Washington, Kemba Walker, Killian Hayes, Daniel Tice, Cole Anthony, Jalen Brunson, Giannis, Tobias Harris if he plays, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Denzel Valentine potentially, Tristan Thompson, Tyler Cook. Gets a little murky at the bottom by a lot, but looking like Josh Jackson, PJ Washington, Kemba Walker, the trio at the top of the heap on DK, which not surprised by. Thought Cole Anthony would rank a little bit higher, but I mean, he's still up there. There we go. So power rankings in the books, optimal lineups in the books, show in the books, and we've only been live for 55 minutes. Guys, we rose and ground, I guess. Is that the past tense? So the good rise and grind sesh, everybody. 6 games up, 6 games down. Got a lot going on once again today. Myself and Adam Kaufman will be live on the strategy show. Check that out. Contenders videos will be out shortly after this. No live before lock for me tonight, but I should be able to manage getting some updates out. Just a 6-gamer, so news can't be that bad. So check my Twitter at Josh Engleman if you want to see the updates to my sims as we get a bit closer to lock. But that's it. I don't have much else here, guys. This is 6 games. It feels tame in comparison to the 12-gamer that we had yesterday. What DVD are we choosing? I don't know. We'll find out. I'm excited for it. 6 games, perfect slate. So it's going to be. I'm excited to play this slate. I got to cook some dinner for the wife tonight as well. So that's on me. So I got to do a little bit of prep potentially this morning. Going to make some wings, make some sort of homemade sauce. Don't know what that's going to be yet, but we'll figure it out. That's all I've got, everybody. So thank you so much for joining me. To the 140 plus people that are here right now, I greatly appreciate it. Love starting my day with you. It's the best. Dennis, we are done here. So thank you. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and shouts to Monkey Knife Fight for being the presenting sponsor. That is it. We are done. Good luck tonight, everybody. Talk to you guys again tomorrow morning. Final process show of the week. Adios.